right now. I want to be a Texan too. I want some fun. I want some barbecue. I want a big hat. I saw hats in the airport. I want a big hat. I want a Molon Labe t-shirt. I want it all. I want it all. Don't you understand, Alex? I'm ready to be converted. I'm ready to be Texan. I'm here. I'm all here. Let's do it.
Are you in your manic phase right now? Because when I hung out with you a bunch in London, you were pretty subdued.
Well, you know, being at the headquarters of the InfoWars as a transcendent event, it takes me to a new place, a new level. You know, I've been watching it for years. I've been listening for years. But to be right here, ground zero of the InfoWars is exciting.
I know. You were running around in circles yelling in the green room for 10 minutes. And you just landed. You are turbocharged.
I was up at 5 a.m. this morning, got on the flight, came right here from the airport, and here I am to talk with you and to discuss all matters that need to be discussed, as only you can.
How is London right now?
Well, as usual, it's raining. This is an interesting culture of people that like to live within a rain cloud and worship mushrooms. That's pretty much their entire cultural bearing. Being here now, it's about being in the sunshine, and it has kind of a, great effect on the mind because all those sun rays are coming into my brain, coming into my eyes, and I'm so glad to be out of London. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Are you going to go native and start buying 50 caliber rifles?
I tried to buy a shotgun at the airport, but they said they don't sell them at the airport anymore. You got to go to the bank, and they'll give you a shotgun if you open an account, but no more at the airport, I guess, because that whole 9/11 thing. But nevertheless, everyone seems to have got a hat and a gun. So, that's all I need. I'm ready to go.
And the Texas women.
What gun would you recommend for a starter like myself, being a Yankee from up north? What gun is a good one to start packing?
You have a big history of firearms?
I used to do a little sharpshooting in my day.
I bet. So what are you into now? Personal defense?
I mean, this would just be for something to go to the corner donut shop. What would I need? Like a 45 caliber? Just to get from point A to point B. Just for my
sure. I mean, I would go with something like a
liberal shows up, for example. What do I need to blow them away? That's what I'm asking. A handgun, something like that.
Yeah, you want something to protect yourself, like a little Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum, kind of Tuck Deluxe, I guess, would be kind of the family of a smaller, little high-powered handgun. 6 shots, 5 shots, just something that's there, but it's got the energy you need to stick right into somebody's chest that's assaulting you and put them down for good.
Assert my freedom. That's what.
Let me show you what you need right here.
My freedom. I need to make it clear that I am pro-freedom.
This is what you need right here.
Holy mackerel!
I tell you what, he's gun crazy. Just make sure they're all unloaded. Bring in M4s, Reapers, and 50 cals right now. I think we need to I want both 50 cals in here.
Okay, we'll bring them all
I want Reapers.
Bring them all in. We're going to do.
I want 223.
Yeah.
But I tell you, you're here, so I'm going to unload this.
Yeah, good idea. Although, if Stacy was here, she'd say the opposite. She'd be loading it. That's the way she likes to handle. Yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks great with that suit, by the way.
You like it?
Yeah, I think the chrome in the suit. It's a nice look. It's all there.
But I mean, you think Rachel Maddow likes this?
Well, Rachel Maddow's packing something. It's not a gun, though. It's
packing the same thing that the first lady is.
The vernacular would be a strap-on. I mean, I know it's a family show, so I don't want to go down.
You mean she's got a rifle strapped to her side?
She's got a rifle strapped.
That's enough.
To the side.
Stop it.
Exactly.
This is a family show. I apologize.
That's what we're talking.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Don't you ever talk bad about the daughter of Janet Reno.
No,
the illegitimate daughter of Janet Reno and William Jefferson Clinton.
Look, if God,
the granddaughter of Osama bin Laden.
If God comes back and it turns out she's a lesbian, then we're all set. Rachel Maddow will be leading us to the promised land. That's all I'm saying. We're in good shape. Clearly.
What is wrong with you, man?
I'm here.
Hey, did you hear we're now accepting Bitcoin?
Of course, after me, banging you on the head for years and years and years, Alex, finally you've seen the light about Bitcoin, and I want to take full credit for that, as I normally do for things that I deserve full credit.
I think you deserve a lot of credit.
I think full credit.
I'm not fully endorsing it, but people have adopted it. It's working pretty good. The system's coming.
On YouTube, he didn't mention my name, which I was surprised, given the fact that.
Should I have added at the end of my little cupcake, Max Kaiser?
I should have said Max Kaiser.
What is Stacy's little nickname for you?
Terror. Terror. Just it. That's all. Terror. Here comes the terror. Just a tiny terror, or TT for short. Tiny terror. That's it. Wherever I go, terror follows. If you see me in your town, it usually means things are going to go bad. So when I was in Athens, the country went bankrupt. I went to Ireland, they went belly up. Now that I'm here in Austin, I mean, it doesn't portend well for this town. That's why I'm thinking maybe I should get it.
I don't know if that's very scientific. You go to the places while they're hotspots.
Well, there's a cause and effect here. You know, it's not, the jury's still out. But that's why I'm anxious to get, you know, a gun. Just in case, you know, because I figure if things pop off, everyone else has got a gun.
Wait, are you talking about moving to Austin?
Well, no, I mean, I'm here for the next few days. But, I mean, is that a good idea? Should I move to Austin?
I think you should move to Austin.
Really? It's supposed to be a fantastic growth town. I've heard on your show you've got a lot of growth in Austin, a lot of new people moving to Austin, but you've got a lot of people coming from all over the country. We need to balance it out because I think you're getting some influx from folks that are not maybe true to the true origins of Austin in its Texas background.
Well, yeah, no, they've already destroyed California, so they're fleeing here, but then immediately start doing the same thing they did in California.
We need more info warriors. So I would clearly be an info warrior. So it'd help balance out the migration of, let's call them non-info warriors.
Yes, I don't know, though, if Austin's enough of a mega city for you. Paris, London, Austin.
Yeah, well, the thing is growing quite rapidly, so you like to get in on these things while they're, you know, developing. Take full advantage.
You like to get into bubbles early?
I'd like to, you know, the bubbles are bursting.
I think the bubble is quite large at this point here.
Well, London is a bubble. You mentioned real estate bubbles. London is clearly in a bubble. The bond market's in a bubble. Stock markets are clearly in a bubble because these central banks, they do nothing but inflate these markets with all their free money, their easy money, their quantitative easy money, and it does nothing except make the top of the pyramid very, very wealthy, but everyone else at the bottom of the 99.9% is getting shafted. The wages are going down, job market's drying up, robots are taking over. So the whole monetary policy game that they've been doing now for 10
I want to look at your perspectives for the world because you did predict here last year that you would see this dollar devaluation and a lot of the defaults and things that are happening. But what about blowing up convoys of Russian trucks going into Ukraine today, and the Pentagon announcing they're sending the Army's 1st Brigade, 1st Cavalry with Abrams tanks to the border to prepare for basically battle with the Russians?
Look, there's a pipeline that has its origin in that area.
I know, but this isn't the Iraqis we're robbing. Now it's the Russians.
Yeah,
because they do own that pipeline. I mean,
right. You got Russia, Iran are now coming together in a way that they would potentially supply Europe with 50% of their gas, natural gas, if this pipeline is completed. The PARS, I think, is the shorthand for this pipeline. And, of course, the U.S. and Saudi Arabia doesn't want that to happen. So they're going to go to war. They're going to go to war in Ukraine, essentially.
And that's why Saudi Arabia is now attacking Iraq, which really means Iran. And then our media acts like Obama is bombing ISIS when it is literally hatched from his loins.
I would agree with that. I mean, there's a proxy war going on, and it's all about oil. So Russia is basically, and I've been saying, doesn't Russia have the right to defend itself, you know, basically, to use the line?
But I don't have to intellectually have any facts or argue with you. I'm just going to call you racist.
Because I'm taking a line other than the party line?
Homophobe, racist, mass murderer.
Well, you bring up a good point in that there are code words that are used by mass media to marginalize people before even they get their point out. So, I mean, in media in this country is extremely monolithic. There's only one view. It comes from the White House, and it's repeated over and over and over again. Only InfoWars and a few other outlets have an opposing view. But I hear what you're saying. It's very difficult to have a debate in this country because all debate is shut down. Fox News being the primary center of non-debate debates. And this guy, Sean Hannity, who I think is really become the worst example of media extremism, where he's over there, you know, he's trying to dry hump Netanyahu like a chihuahua, dry hump.
Okay, stop. Family show. No more.
Did you see those?
No more. No more.
Like,
all right, but listen. Can't you pull back though and see the whole Palestinian-Israel thing is a giant manipulation as well? I mean, look at Fox News.
Also energy resources off Gaza that they have. They have some gas resources off Gaza as well. There's also an energy element to that conflict as well. And it's an occupying force, Israel, that is, like a bad developer with nukes. I mean, that's what they are. They're a developer with nukes. So they think, oh, we're just going to develop. We're going to build wherever we want to build. We don't care what the law is. You're in the way. We're going to bomb you. We'll kill you. We don't care. That's the Israel policy. The U.S., because all this news is just...
Yeah, but I'm not defending Israel, but I want to be fair here. I mean, a bunch of the Palestinians are dragging people that don't agree with them around behind motorbikes, and who cares about the 300,000 Christians being murdered by IS? See, if the Palestinians...
they're defending their border against Mexican. Why can't the Palestinians be defending their border against Israel?
Look, I know I'm not defending the border against Mexicans. They're bringing in all these people from Central America and paying them to vote in California.
You want them coming across the border. Okay, the Palestine doesn't want the people coming across the border either, building illegal settlements on their land. It's their land.
Well, I mean, it does look bad when when that happens.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So they're defending themselves. They have the right to defend themselves.
But see, I don't even have to debate you. I'll just call you an anti-Semite.
Well, Semite now means terrorist, thanks to what Israel's been doing. According to Israel's definition of anti-Semitism, according to Israel now, that means you're anti-terrorist. Let's be clear.
I'm really confused now.
Let's be clear.
I want to talk about
terrorists.
Stay there. By the way, where are the firearms? I wanted the 50 cals and stuff brought in here 15 minutes ago. Let's just start bringing those in.
We're bringing them in. They're very heavy.
I understand during the perseverations of Max Keiser. Max, let's get serious. You're in your manic phase right now.
I prefer to use the term lighthearted.
Hypomanic.
Lighthearted, thank you.
I understand. But let's get serious just here for a moment, because I know you're a smart guy, inventor of a lot of virtual trading technologies, worked with George Soros' son.
We'll talk about soon, the new one.
I want to talk about a lot of stuff with you, but what do you make about the crises in the world intensifying? Secretary of Defense Hagel 2 days ago said the whole world is blowing up. Obama 3 weeks ago, they said that we owe him for the world being the most stable ever. So obviously, I agree with Hagel, not him. There's just more and more craziness going on. What do you think the grand strategy is of the technocrats, or is there not a strategy? Because every analyst I have on, really smart, top CIA people, you name it, say this is insane with Russia. Good chance it's going to lead to a big war, nuclear war. Our elites are doing things that were never done before. What is happening, Max Keiser?
Well, Alex, you have to look at it in terms of the fact that there is now a global conflict over the remaining resources out there, energy resources and food resources. And how did we come to this? We came to this point because over the past 30 years or longer, there's been an attempt to grow the world economy using only monetary policy. There's been an attempt to grow the world economy simply by
on paper BS
printing money. And back 40 years ago, for every, for example, dollar of debt that was generated by the United States, there was maybe $1.50 or $2 of debt for every dollar of GDP. That was roughly the equation. You'd create about $2 of debt, and you'd get $1 worth of GDP. Today, it takes almost $12 of debt to get the same dollar of GDP. So what does that tell you? It tells you that this debt, bubble keeps expanding, and we're at the point now.
And it will go Zimbabwe?
Well, we're at the point, though, that the resources that are remaining for the world, and see this in Ukraine, because Ukraine is agricultural and energy resources. And because the monetary stimulus doesn't generate GDP growth anymore, it's coming to blows. It's coming to war. This is the reason.
Europe wants to absorb a snack, and they want to absorb Russia's gas pipelines and bases that have been there for 600 years. And so there has to be, I guess, a war, because that just belongs to George Soros.
Well, look, after World War I and World War II, all that money in Europe ended up going to the U.S. That was for safe haven. So the U.S. inherited a tremendous billions and billions of dollars worth of cash. And they created, as we all know, in the 70s, the petrodollar with the Saudi Arabia. But now we're in an interesting inflection point where if Iran and Russia are successful building this gas pipeline into Europe, they could have 50% of the gas flowing into Europe very soon. That would completely undermine the dollar and completely undermine the U.S. hegemony and U.S. post-World War II strategies.
But this isn't.
They're going to go to war over this.
But it isn't even really U.S. It means the corporate interests that run the U.S.
Okay, fine. I mean, you can call that as well. But the corporations that represent the U.S. corporations, the agriculture, like Monsanto is a big one, or the big oil companies, they are now understanding that the only way that they can protect their position is to go to war. So they're going to war. I think we're on now at the beginning of a major global war over the region that's in the past been the region that where wars have started with players that in the past have gone to war with each other. So I think that's where we're at. Ukraine is the staging ground for this this conflict.
I don't lionize Pooty Poot, as Bush called him, a man whose soul he could trust. But, I mean, Russia is not offensive right now. They're not stirring stuff up. They're trying to be free market. Our government's trying to overthrow them, messing with them. And, I mean, they just can't bully Russia like they did Iraq or Syria. I just can't believe the neocons and the Democrats are trying to bite something off this big. They're delusional.
We know from the Victoria Nuland tapes that the EU and the U.S. And the IMF and the Western forces were anxious to put in a puppet government in Ukraine. And they succeeded in putting in a puppet government to put the interests of these corporations like Monsanto and others forward. And the people in Crimea decided they didn't want to have any more to do with this. They voted a referendum to leave. They were then subsumed by Russia. The people in eastern Ukraine are saying, you know, they're getting bombed every day by Kiev. Eastern Ukraine looks like...
Oh, I know. They voted to not be part of the EU, so the CIA overthrew the country.
Right.
And then now they're trying to steal the part of Russia that's always been part of Russia and their gas pipelines. I mean,
so where's Russia been aggressive so far in that equation?
I think Russia's horrible. They're racist. That's why they need to bomb. Nuclear war with Russia right now, they're racist. Nuclear war with Russia, now they're racist.